Welcome back to Harwich. We are here, and it is time to play some baseball again. Picking up after a weather delay. We were just delayed for about 45 minutes or so due to some lightning and a couple of spotted showers that popped up here at Whitehouse Field, but now we're ready to get things started again. The Cotuit Kettleers up against the Harwich Mariners. Top of the third inning, Kettleers have first and second with 2 outs. Parker Chavers, the base runner, at first. Nick Gonzalez at second base. Mason Dodd climbs back in, facing a no-ball, 2-strike count. And a new pitcher, Will Heflin, a left-hander from the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. Glad you're back with us, however you found us, late on to this Saturday night here in Harwich. A little bit of sprinkles of rain, and the 0-2 back to Dodd. A curveball in the dirt blocked away by Pinkel. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Back underway after the weather delay at 8:06 p.m. Eastern. Kettleers began this inning with 2 outs. Then Nick Gonzalez was hit by a pitch. Chavers worked a walk. 2 on with 2 away. No score in the top of the third. Heflin set out of the pen at his belt. 1-2. Curveball dips away. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What a tough situation for Mason Dodd. You fall behind 0-2. You got to sit around for about half an hour, and they bring in a new pitcher, a lefty, to face the left-handed hitting Dodd, and you got to come in with 2 strikes.
Nobody holding on the runners. Chavers on first. Gonzalez on second. 2-2 curve down and away at the ankles. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Scoreless ball game. Picked back up after a weather delay. Top of the third. Only have to get 5 in for this to count as a complete game. Dark clouds overhead with the lights on in Harwich. Heflin looks back. Now is 3-2. Fastball low. Bases loaded for Cotuit here in the third. 3 consecutive batters reach base with 2 outs. Everybody up 90 feet. Dodd, what a wonderful plate appearance there. After falling behind 0-2, he battled before the lightning came in and delayed this one. 40 minutes later, he works a 2-out walk to load the bases. Next up, Matt Mervis, the cleanup batter. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Heflin's first pitch. Breaking ball, down and out. 1 ball, no strikes. One 0. Fastball tagged on the outside corner for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Mervis. 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to short his first time up. Scoreless game in the top of the third. First, second, and third for the Kettleers with 2 outs. Harwich plays the infield back at normal depth. Heflin's 1-1. Breaking ball low. 2 balls and a strike. Tricky situation here, Arm, for both sides, but it looks like the Kettleers are in the driver's seat at the restart.
Yeah, you wonder how much the pitcher was able to warm up given the rain and the weather delay, whether it was earlier and then he had to sit around for a little bit or rush it and then go out there. It's a weird situation for everyone involved, but hopefully Cotuit can take advantage of it.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. 2-1 to Mervis. Chopped away foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Matt Mervis, a big left-handed bat out of Duke, 2-way player. Saw him pitch a little bit earlier in the week and play the corners of the infield, representing Duke. Dodd on first, Chavers on second, Gonzalez the lead man at third. 2-2. Breaking ball, skips away from Pinkel. It's behind him to his right, but all the runners stay put. Gonzalez had the lead at third, but never thought about coming home. Didn't quite see the ball himself. Count moves to 3-2.
Ball didn't get very far away. I think that's why Gonzalez stayed, but the catcher Winkle had no idea where it was either. Had he broke home, he would have been able to score easily, but it's one of those things that hindsight's 20/20.
Heflin out of the pen into a sticky situation. Bases loaded with 2 outs. No score in the third. 3-2 on the way to Mervis. Fastball down and out, ball 4. Cotuit gets on the board and takes the lead against Harwich, 1-0. A bases loaded walk to Matt Mervis that scores Nick Gonzalez. And Cotuit's got control early on the road.
How about that? 4 consecutive walks. It's hard to remember the fact that there was 4 consecutive walks because it was over a span of about an hour. But a little bit of trouble here for the Harwich pitching staff.
Harwich sends out their pitching coach again. This is kind of deja vu where we left off. If you're just joining us, here's what happened. This game was delayed initially an hour because of lightning and some downpour that came in before we started. Then first pitch came in at 6:28, played into the top of the third inning. The Kettleers had 2 on with 2 out. Dark clouds came overhead, the wind picked up, everything cooled down, and then a lightning strike in the distance sprung us into a 45-minute delay that had some rain off and on. Next thing you know, it clears up just for a moment. We pick things back up on a dampened field, and a bases-loaded walk to Matt Mervis scores the first run of the contest. 1-0 Kettleers here in the top of the third. Bases still loaded with 2 outs. Here's Araj Anu. Fastball low and away again. Heflin misses for ball 1. Heflin, a 5'11", 175-pound senior out of Morristown, Tennessee. Made 26 appearances with 1 start this past spring in Knoxville. 1-0, wave and a miss by Anu. 1 ball and 1 strike. Aram told you that this thing started with a 2-out rally. Nick Gonzalez, a hit batsman. Chavers worked a walk. Dodd worked a walk after the lightning delay, and Mervis walked to bring home a run. 1-1. Another off-speed pitch low at the ankles. 2 balls and a strike. Heflin really struggling with his control. Cotuit in the road maroon tops on the white pinstripe pants. Harwich in the home creams trimmed in blue and red. 2-1 fastball. Off the plate. 3 balls and a strike. Dark clouds scraping overhead here in Harwich. Are on the lower Cape tonight. Right on the water. Nothing for certain with the weather. 3-1 in there for a strike. A fastball on the inside corner. That loads up the count. 3-2 on Anu. 0 for 1 today. Hit a ground ball to second his first time up. Cotuit ahead 1-0. Top of the third. Bases loaded with 2 outs. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Off speed down and away. Heflin gets him to minimize the damage, but the Kettleers take the lead 1-0. A bases loaded walk to Matt Mervis, and Nick Gonzalez scores the first run of the ball game. We're back underway here at Whitehouse Field after a lightning delay. Bottom of the third coming up next. The Kettleers 1 and Harwich 0. Third inning, Sam Neidermann, Aram Leighton. Glad you could join us tonight on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Getting back into action after a 45-minute weather delay. Harwich back at the plate and a new pitcher on for Cotuit. Joe Nahas, a right-hander from Georgia Southern, comes out of the bullpen. Sean Sullivan actually started this ball game. He went 2 scoreless, walked 1, allowed 1 hit, no runs, and struck out 1. But after the restart, Mike Roberts dips into his pen and goes with a hard-throwing righty out of Frackville, PA. Nahas out of the windup, up against Patrick Winkle, who takes a strike. No balls and 1 strike. 1-0 Kettleers. Cotuit scoring in the top of this third inning. 4 consecutive batters reached with 2 outs, and a walk with the bases loaded gave Cotuit the lead. 0-1, high fastball that goes to the backstop. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Nahas has been really impressive in his couple of outings for the Kettleers, Aram, including his big 3-inning effort in which he struck out 6 on the road at Brewster last weekend.
Yeah, he picked up 6 strikeouts in that outing in just 3 innings. Really impressed Coach Mike Roberts, who said he might want to use him a little bit in closing situations to split time with Kyle Nicholas. That could be a really deadly combo closing out games for the Kettleers.
Nobody on, nobody out. Kettleers up 1-0 in the bottom of the third. 1-1 to Winkle. Hard fastball up the shoulders, 2-1. It's really an adjustment for these pitchers coming out of the pen. We saw Will Heflin struggle a little bit at the restart in the top of the third inning. Now Joe Nahas, a couple of wild fastballs. Winkle, a left-handed bat. 2-1 pitch. Wave and a miss. Got him on a good fastball outside of the plate. 2-2. One nothing Cotuit, bottom 3. 2-2. Hard fastball just off the plate. No call. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Winkle.
A good miss there by Nahas. Tried to nip that outside corner with a hard fastball to the left-handed hitting Winkle rather. Expect him to challenge him again with a fastball here.
Nahas shakes off Pasek behind home plate. Now gets his sign. 3-2, swing and a miss. Joe Nahas gets a strikeout of Winkle to start things off here in the bottom of the third.
And there was the fastball. Nahas just trusting his guns. He knows he's got a high-velocity fastball with some movement there and just blew it right by him. Challenged Winkle, and that's his bread and butter. He goes to that fastball in just about any count. He's working on a changeup, he said, but he's really comfortable with his curveball. He's got a nice slider. He's got a few nice pitches that he can throw in any count, but at the end of the day, he knows he can blow that fastball by anyone.
1 down, base is empty for Hal Hughes. Harwich's number 9 man takes a breaking pitch for ball 1. This is the kind of guy on the mound here who really has the kind of stuff to maybe even make a Cape League All-Star game if he keeps his numbers up.
Absolutely.
1-0. Hard fastball inside, 2-0 on Hughes. Hughes, one of the other newcomers for Harwich. Steve Englert brought in a second wave of players that were not in the first matchup between these two clubs. Hughes being one of them, an LSU player. And he lines a fastball into right field, drifting foul out of play. 2-1. Hughes' father, Pete Hughes, is the head coach at Kansas State. Also had stops as the head coach at Boston College, Virginia Tech, and Oklahoma, which is Hughes' home state. Born in Norman, Oklahoma, right on the Sooner campus. 1 down, base is empty. 1-0 Kettleers in the bottom of the third. 2-1 breaking ball, called for a strike. Good-looking pitch. 2-2.
Great pitch by Nahas there to erase the hitter's count. He's sitting fastball, able to bend one. He was taken all the way once he saw that spin, wasn't able to adjust.
Lights on at Whitehouse Field. Kettleers on top, 1-0. Here's a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Fooled him on an off-speed pitch. Joe Nahas with back-to-back strikeouts. And there are 2 away here in the bottom of the third.
Number 3, the center fielder from Kansas State, Cam Thompson.
Now Cam Thompson, the leadoff man for Harwich. 0 for 0 with a walk. His first time up, also stole. He was stranded on third at the end of the first inning. Center fielder out of Kansas State. Wind up from Nahas. First pitch fastball runs inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Thompson plays for Pete Hughes at Kansas State, the father of Hal Hughes, who just struck out swinging. Steve Englert with a good connection and pipeline to Manhattan, Kansas. Second year for Thompson in a Mariners uniform. 1-0 pitch fouled off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dark, deep blue clouds overhead. There was some sun peeking out right before we restarted this after the weather delay. That's all been swallowed up. A couple of pink touches onto the clouds just about 15 minutes ago. 1-1 to Thompson. Ripped on the ground through the right side for a base hit. Cam Thompson's aboard. Second hit of the afternoon for Harwich. A 2-out single to keep things going in the bottom of the third.
First time we saw Nahas hang one a little bit there. Left it about belt high, and Thompson was able to just wait back long enough to punch it through into right field.
One on with 2 outs. Here's Christian Fedko, second baseman out of UConn. 0 for 1 today with a strikeout looking against Sean Sullivan. Kettleers had the lead 1-0. Bottom 3, Thompson on first with 2 outs. Nahas out of the stretch with the high socks. He looks in and closes off with his front left foot. Athletic bend in the knees, and he checks over at the runner at first. Swing and a miss by Fedko. No balls and 1 strike. Good breaking pitch again from Nahas. One on with 2 out. 0-1 pitch. Fastball hammered in for a strike. 0-2. Cotuit took the lead in the top of this third inning with a bases-loaded walk. Thompson kept this inning alive with a single into right. He takes his lead at first, held on by Dodd. 0-2, swing and a miss. Joe Nahas with 3 strikeouts here in the bottom of this third inning, working around a 2-out single to get the Kettleers into the 4th. And Cotuit's still got the lead, 1-0. Be right back in just a moment. This is Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Cam Williams, Dante Williams, and then Duke Ellis against the lefty Will Heflin. Swing and a miss on the first pitch by Cam. Strike 1. Williams 0 for 1 with a bounce out to second base back in the second inning of play. Heflin in his first full inning of work out of the bullpen. He misses outside with a fastball 1-1. Might be a little warmer now after coming in to inherit a 2-on with 2 out situation with an 0-2 count, and then he blew that chance and walked the batter to load up the bases and eventually walked in a run. Another wayward pitch behind the catcher and Pinkel to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. After some live action pitches under his belt, though, Heflin might be ready to be a little more effective. Williams, the switch hitter, bats from the right side. 2-1, swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch in the dirt. Level it up, 2-2. 1-0 Cotuit in the fourth. Heflin out of the windup for the first time. Is 2-2. Swing and a miss. Williams down on strikes. One down. Heflin now with back-to-back strikeouts. He struck out anew to cap off the top of the third inning. He gets Williams here. One out here in the top of the fourth. Nobody aboard, and Dante Williams back at the plate. 0 for 1 with a ground out to third base.
That was a really good job by Heflin to set up the fastball with the 2-2 count, threw the changeup low, was able to get Williams to chase, and then blew it by him. That change of speed is really tough for a hitter.
Williams shows bunt and chops it right in front of the mound. Spin throw by Heflin, and a good stretch at first by Cavadas for out number 2. Williams tries to bunt for a base hit, but comes up unsuccessful. Good play by Heflin to field his position and come off the mound and get that ball.
The thought from Williams there, dragging the bunt to the first base side with the left-handed pitching Heflin. Typically, left-handed pitchers fall to their left, or to their right rather, towards third base. But Heflin was able to just get back really well and shift his momentum. He was one of those guys that doesn't really fall like a Randy Johnson type all the way over to his right, able to make a great play ranging over to his left.
2 down, nobody aboard for Duke Ellis, who takes a breaking pitch in there for strike 1. Kettleers up 1-0. Top of the fourth inning. Ellis 0 for 1 with a strikeout swinging. Heflin peers in. Hides his face with his tan mitt. Now goes into the windup. 0-1. Fastball on the outside corner. Call it for a strike. 0-2. Back in action under the lights after a 45-minute lightning delay. Rain on, off, and on, and we're back in the clear for the moment with some dark clouds overhead. 0-2. Grounded on the right side. Cavadas takes at first and sprints to the bag himself for out number 3. Cotuit goes down in order here in the top of the fourth inning, and we're on to the bottom of the fourth. Kettleers still up 1-0. We'll be right back after this. To nothing, and Jonah Haas back on the mound for his second full inning of work. Struck out 3 batters and worked around a 2-out single in the bottom of the third inning. First pitch breaking ball to Keenan, pinned on the inside corner for a called strike. 0-1 to the third baseman out of Ole Miss. He bounced to the first baseman his first time up. Big left-handed bat. Slightly open stance. Nahas at 6'1", very athletic frame at 185 pounds, comes out of the windup, up and in with an off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Georgia Southern on the mound. Ole Miss at the plate. Keenan coming off of a fantastic effort in the SEC this past spring. One. Fastball, low and in at the knees. 2 balls and a strike. Some of the Cotuit fans behind home plate wanted that call. The Haas has been in and around the zone all afternoon. 1-0 Cotuit in the bottom of the 4th inning. Wind up in the 2-1. Sliced into the air. Short left field and foul ground. And it gets down into the grass for just a strike. 2-2. Cotuit's got the defense shifted up a little bit on the left side of the infield. Matt Mervis plays towards the middle of the left side at third base and a little in, and Cam Williams plays nearly behind second base at shortstop. Mervis takes a couple of steps back onto the dirt with a 2-2 strike count on the batter and Keenan. The pitch, fastball, just a little low. Pasek tried to frame it. Count runs full.
Nahas doing a good job of running the fastball in on the big left-handed, hitting Keenan. Not afraid to challenge him, and that's a good thing out of a pitcher that throws high velocity with these wood bats. You can break some bats, run it on their hands. That's a good way to get these big power hitters out.
3-2 breaking ball, low and in. Ball 4 to Keenan. A leadoff walk for Harwich in the bottom of the 4th rather. Keenan the man on first. Here comes Bobby Seymour. Bobby Seymour 0 for 1 with a fly out to left field his first time up. Stranded a runner at third base back in the 1st inning of play. We're in the bottom of the 4th here. Cotuit up 1-0. Keenan on first, held on by Dodd. Williams plays towards second base. Mike Roberts yells out to his infield to play straight up here. Seymour takes a curveball on the inside corner for a strike.
It's a great matchup for Nahas, who's been so dominant in his 7 innings so far this year, already striking out 12. Facing one of the best hitters in college baseball with a runner on and nobody out. It's a great gauge for yourself.
Mervis plays in at third. 0-1, hammered in the air, opposite field over the Harwich pen and left. Out of play for a foul ball and strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes for the All-American and Seymour. Short lead for Keenan at first. Nobody out. 1-0 game favoring Cotuit. 0-2. Grounded hard through the right side for a hit. Keenan around second. He stays there. And Bobby Seymour comes up with a single to move the runners around. First and second now with nobody out for Harwich.
Once again, left the curveball up. When you're ahead 0-2 on a guy like Bobby Seymour, that 0-2 curveball's got to be in the dirt. You got to waste one, or at least put it borderline. A guy like Bobby Seymour will take advantage of one that's left up 9 times out of 10, and he did right there.
Seymour comes up with a base hit with an 0-2 count, and he's given Harwich their best opportunity of the night. 2 on with nobody out against Joe Nahas here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Kettleers lead it 1-0. Daniel Cabrera comes back to the plate. Another left-handed bat out of LSU. The right fielder 0 for 1 with a ground out to second base. Nahas out of the stretch, looks back at Keenan, now to the plate. Fastball called for a strike, 0-1. Cabrera, former USA member, played with the collegiate national team last summer. Was a freshman All-American. Numbers dropped just a tick this year, but still very productive for LSU. Broken bat, ground ball to short, taken by Williams, who pops it back to second base for a force. That's out number 1. Thankfully, everybody's okay on the diamond. Runners on the corners with 1 out. 6-4 on a fielder's choice to retire the trailing runner in Seymour. Runner and Cabrera safe at first base. And about half his back got shattered right in front of Nahas on the mound, and thankfully it didn't hit him.
Yeah, that ball, or that bat rather, shattered right around the knob, and it was catapulting towards Nahas. Fortunately, he was able to dance out of the way of it. Those things can be sharp when they splinter like that.
Nico Cavadas, big first baseman out of Notre Dame, stands back in. Another left-handed bat. Runners on the corners with one out, and Cotuit ahead, 1-0. Nahas out of the stretch. Short leg lift and the pitch. Off speed at the shins. 1 ball, no strikes. That was one of the first really clean broken bats we've seen all summer. Maybe my memory's just been erased because of the long layoff.
And another example of what I was talking about, running that fastball in on the lefties. Gets in on their hands, he could break a lot more bats like that and force a lot of weak contact.
Harwich began the inning with a walk. Tyler Keenan. Seymour singled in the right with a 0-2 count. And then Cabrera just grounded to short for a fielder's choice. First and third with 1 out. And the 1-0 to Cavadas. Fouled away, back behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cooler night in Harwich after the rain. Dark, dark blue clouds up ahead. Lights on as well at Whitehouse Field. First and third with 1 out. 1-1 from Nahas. Breaking pitch, knocked away foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Joe gets ahead.
We'll see what Nahas goes to here. 1 and 2. He's hung a couple curveballs with 2 strikes. He's had success blowing the fastball by him. See if he goes back to his bread and butter and tries to blow the fastball by the left-handed hitter here.
Double play depth for the infield. 1-2. Lashed away foul on a fastball. Cavadas just able to extend and top that one off, getting a piece of it. Cotuit's up 1-0, a bases-loaded walk that came after the weather delay in the top of the third inning. The strength of the Kettleer lead to this point. Still no hits for the Pinstripes on the road. 3 hits for Harwich, and they're trying to do something with it. First and third with 1 out. 1-2. Popped up foul, left side. Merv is tracking in, and he's unable to make the play underhanded. Good effort, and he had to get out of the way of Steve Englert, who was coaching at third base. And it came off of the edge of his glove.
Looked like one of those instances where he was sprinting full speed. Sometimes when you're running as hard as you can, your feet are bouncing, your head's bouncing, your eyes bounce up and down, and sometimes you just miss by an inch or two to squeeze that ball. It looks like it hit him on the heel. So he was sprinting full speed at that ball.
Still a 1-2 count on Cavadas. 1-2. High fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cabrera on first base, Keenan on third base. Middle infielders pinch in towards second for Cotuit. Only 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Kettleers up 1-0. Nahas ready from the stretch. 2-2, grounded, right side. Gonzalez unable to funnel it, and it goes into right for a base hit. Keenan comes in to score, and we are tied at 1 apiece here in the bottom of the 4th. Nico Cavadas comes up with a single to plate a run. And it's a tie ball game here at Whitehouse Field. Good answer by the Mariners.
Number 14, the left fielder from Wake Forest, Chris Lanzilli.
Chris Lanzilli back at the plate, 0 for 1. He grounded into a 6-4-3 double play that ended the second. Cavadas now 2 for 2. Run scoring single that ties this game. He's on first base. Cabrera, the runner at third base, going first to third on that last hit.
Seems to be the rule of thumb there. Often when you give a hitter a second life, they take advantage of it. And it's a tough break for Joe Nahas there, who was able to jam him, get him to pop up, and he got a second life and was able to punch a single through.
First pitch, bounced to short. Williams unable to take it on a tricky hop, and it rolls into center field. That little bouncer scores another run. Cabrera home to score, and Harwich has the lead on a Chris Lansley grounder, and we'll see how they score it. Cam Williams ate up on a really wicked hop.
With Williams playing double play depth there, he tried to sit back on it a little bit so he'd have the flip over to Nick Gonzalez, but in doing so, you gave the ball an extra hop, and that's how it eats you up. Might have been better off just coming in, getting the sure out, or at least keeping the runner at third. Looks like they'll score that in error.
E6 on Williams, first error of the game for either team, and it gives Harwich the lead, 2-1 Mariners, bottom of the fourth inning. Cavadas moves up to second base. Lansley reaches safely at first. Still only one out in this frame, and here's Patrick Winkle, the catcher. 0-for-1 with a strikeout against Nahas in the last inning. Pitch numero uno. Fastball high and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Still a few folks that have stuck around for this one. It's gotten really cold. Glad I brought the hoodies tonight. You've got the windbreaker on. Serving you well over there? Feeling all right?
I need more.
Probably should have wore pants, too. And we wore the flip-flops. That was a bad idea. I'll take the blame for that one. 1-0 to Winkle. Popped up, foul ground again. Left side, Mervis circles it right in the third base coach's box. He's got it for out number 2.
Yeah, you group-thinked me into wearing these flip-flops. I don't know if I'm going to do it ever again. I got dirt on my feet from the rain.
Yeah, it looks like we jumped into the sand or the pond or something. We were playing in the sandbox. Well, the first rain delay happened before the game. Next thing you know, you look down at your feet and you're wearing these flip-flops and you got sand all over them. I don't know where the sand came from or the dirt, but it was here. There were puddles. Pretty amazing how we're playing this game here in the bottom of the fourth, late into the night after all the storms came swirling around. Hal Hughes takes a strike, 0-1. First and second for Harwich with 2 outs. Harwich up 2-1 on Cotuit. One delay before the game that pushed this thing back an hour, and then another delay for 45 minutes after some lightning and showers came through. With a dark blue sky overhead, doesn't look like it's going to rain anymore. We might be good for the rest of the night to get a full 9 innings in. 0-1, wave and a miss by Hughes, 0-2.
The amazing thing is this is the only ball game going on in the entire Cape. We were the only ones able to stick it out here at Whitehouse Field. Every other game was called. So let's consider ourselves lucky. We're still holding on to a couple free days where we don't have postponements.
0-2 to Hughes. Popped away foul. He's still alive. Harwich, the only field to survive as of now. Chatham and Whitey actually got a final win in 7 innings, and Chatham won 4-2 on the road. Orleans and Brewster rained out. Falmouth at Wareham rained out on the other side of the canal. And the Hyannis and Bourne game was postponed before we even got started because of the field conditions at Doran Park in Bourne. 2 on with 2 out. 2-1 Harwich. 2-strike pitch to Hughes. Flied away, right field, and out of play, foul again. It's been a crazy week for Cotuit. Kettleers were off on Monday. Tuesday's road trip to Chatham rained out. That will be made up on Monday night, the 24th. At 7 p.m. Wednesday, a 6-0 home loss against Wareham. Thursday's game against Bourne rained out on a day that had no rain, basically, due to poor field conditions. And then yesterday's game against Hyannis at home rained out. 0-2, swing and a miss on another good breaking ball. Joe Nahas with his 4th strikeout of the night, and he gets the Kettleers out of the inning. But Harwich takes the lead. The Mariners come up with a couple of big hits, 2 runs on just 2 hits. 1 error and a couple left on base, and they've got the lead heading into the 5th. Harwich 2 and Cotuit 1. We'll be right back in just a moment. This is Cotuit Kettleers baseball on the Cape Cod.
Southpaw Will Heflin still on the mound for Harwich. He will get Cody Pasek, then the top of the Cotuit order, Nick Gonzalez and Parker Shavers. The first pitch to Pasek, a fastball, misses up, ball one. Harwich was able to scrape for two in the bottom of the fourth on an error and a pair of singles. Cotuit still looking for their first hit of the ball game as Pasek fouls one out into the Harwich bullpen. Cotuit does have the one run. Got it on 4 consecutive walks, a hit by pitch and 3 walks actually. 4 free passes in a row, which was sandwiched around a 45-minute delay. As Pasek pulls one foul, it's 1-2. Pasek, the left-handed hitter, faces the southpaw. Pasek bounced out to the pitcher Seymour in his first at-bat as he takes a fastball up and away, even things up at 2-2. Seymour was the starter through a couple innings, and then once we got into that rain delay, decided to not go back out there with him. Cotuit did the same thing with their starter, Sean Sullivan. The 2-2. Fouled off, will do 2-2 again. Pasek, a really exciting story for the Kettleers. Of course, a local guy, was the bullpen catcher before, always dreamed about playing for the Kettleers, and he's hitting .400 through his first 5 games this season as he swings and misses at a 2-2 fastball. So the first batter is set down in the inning for Cotuit, but they'll flip it over to the top of the order. It's Nick Gonzalez. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Was hit by a pitch and scored in the third. That's the lone run for the Kettleers. He also struck out looking to lead the ball game off. The first pitch to the right-handed hitting Gonzalez is a ball down low. It's 1-0. Gonzalez has had 12 free passes this season, 9 walks and 3 hit by pitches. So he takes a ball outside, 2-0. The 2-0 to Gonzalez, misses outside again, 3-0. The hits haven't been coming as much, only 5 hits through 8 games so far for Gonzalez, but the on-base percentage is there. You have to assume he's going to break out soon. The reigning batting champion in Division I hit .432 at New Mexico State. Taking all the way as a fastball splits the plate, 3-1. .471 on-base percentage coming into today. Gonzalez ahead 3-1, awaits the pitch. He fouls one straight away down the third base line. Will make things full. As it seems like Nick Gonzalez works a full count almost every other at-bat, doesn't it, Sam?
Yeah, he just grinds up there, and again, he's in a 3-2 situation here.
While he did strike out looking in his first at-bat, it seems like almost every time he has 2 strikes, he's just comfortable as he takes the 3-2 pitch inside for another walk. So Nick Gonzalez will reach base for the second time today. And Cotuit will have a runner on first, 1 away, and Parker Shavers, the 2-hitter, will stride to the plate.
That's Gonzalez' 10th walk of the season. Pretty incredible that he's got 10 walks and what will be 9 games played once we're done with this one.
You throw in the 3 hit by pitches, it makes for a great on-base percentage. You got to expect the hits will start coming. First pitch to Shavers is a fastball right down the middle for strike 1. Gonzalez with some speed on first. Cotuit is chasing 1 run here in the top of the 5th. Mason Dodd, the power hitter, and first baseman waits on deck as another pickoff from the lefty in Heflin. But Gonzalez is able to get back with a head-first dive. So another lefty-on-lefty matchup for Heflin, facing the left-handed hitting Shavers as he pops one up into the infield. Back is Hughes, calls off all his infielders and makes the grab. So a quick out number 2, and Mason Dodd will try to extend this inning.
Crucial for the Kettleers to lock back in here at the plate. Scored 1 run, but still haven't come up with a hit yet in this one. Kind of a weird night with the 2 delays, and before you know it, this game will be a complete game once we get through this top of the 5th inning.
It's been a rough go of it for the Kettleers. Just 4 hits in their last 13 innings as Heflin picks off over to first base again. Half-hearted throw as he lobbed it to his first baseman, and Gonzalez was able to walk back to the bag. Just 4 hits in the last ball game on Wednesday against Wareham. Obviously no hits so far as we're 2 outs into the top of the 5th. Dodd takes a fastball in the inside corner for strike 1. Cotuit still ranks among the top in the league in just about every offensive category despite the scuffles in the last couple games. Shows how hot they were to start the season. Heflin picks off again over to first. Gonzalez takes a couple steps back and is in standing up. Cotuit is first in the league in home runs, second in runs, slugging, and stolen bases, as well as OPS. Gonzalez was on the move. Dodd was swinging. He fouls it away. Gonzalez will have to go back to first base. It's a tough recipe when the offense is scuffling because the pitching and defense hasn't been very good. 9th in ERA, 8th in fielding percentage, a 4.64 ERA as a team, a 9.62 fielding percentage. So the hitting is kind of scuffled, and the pitching and defense is not really improved, and that's a recipe for a little slide. As Dodd takes strike 3 on a curveball at the letters. So Cotuit was able to get 1 runner on base on a walk. No hits, no errors, 1 man left on. We'll go into the bottom of the 5th. Cotuit still chasing 1. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Today we expect to see a lot of different guys out of the bullpen. Obviously a short start from the starter Sean Sullivan with the 45-minute delay in the 3rd inning. So the book is closed on Joe Nahas, who went 2 innings, struck out 4, walked 1, gave up 2 runs, but only 1 of them was earned. First pitch from Holcomb is fouled off away on the first base line. Holcomb, a sophomore, transferred from Alabama. He'll be playing at Tulane this spring. Was formerly the #1 pitcher in Massachusetts by perfect game in high school. Pitched this past spring at Florida State College. Pitched to a 2.08 ERA in 43 innings, struck out 46. He's been one of Coach Roberts' go-to lefties out of the pen. The 0-1 to Thompson. Curveball that bends out of the zone, 1-1. Holcomb would get the top of this Harwich order in Cam Thompson, Christian Fedko, and Tyler Keenan. Holcomb out of the windup, kicks and deals. Gets him to swing through a fastball. Way ahead, 1-2. Johnson 1 for 1 on the day, walked in his first at-bat, singled in the second. And he takes the 1-2 down and away. It's 2-2. Holcomb's only given up 1 run in his 4 innings of work, 4 hits given up and 2 strikeouts. He's picked up 1 win so far this summer. The 2-2 got him on a fastball swinging. So Thompson is set down for the first out of the inning on a strikeout from Chris Holcomb.
Well done, Chris Holcomb. If there's one positive coming out of the Kettleers right now, it would be the bullpen guys. Joe Nahas obviously gave up the 2 runs. Only one of them was earned. And he struck out for Holcomb with a strikeout to begin his stint out of the pen in the bottom of the 5th. Sean Sullivan, a little shaky early on, but hey, you're going to have those, and he was still able to go 2 scoreless before the weather delay.
So Holcomb throws a fastball that misses at the shins. He's behind 1-0 to Christian Fedko, who's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. He hits from the right side, and then there'll be a pair of lefties for the southpaw Holcomb. The 1-0. Misses down again, 2-0. Holcomb with the high socks. One of the few Kettleers tonight rocking the high socks. The shortstop Adam Oviedo, who just came in for Cam Williams, is the only other Kettleer rocking the high socks. Curveball bends inside this one for a strike. It's 2-1.
Nahas had the high socks earlier.
So Oviedo, the substitute at shortstop. He will hit for Cam Williams in the 6th spot. 2-1 fastball low and in, just caught the corner, 2-2. So 2-2 to the right-handed hitting Fedko. Holcomb tries to make it a hat trick, and he does on a changeup, swing and a miss. 3rd strikeout on the day for Fedko, 2nd strikeout of the inning for Chris Holcomb.
That's one of those things in baseball with the advent of the relief pitcher, right? So many different arms out of the bullpen. It's hard for these hitters to pick up a beat on them, and it's going to be a committee day for the Kettleers. 2 innings from Sullivan, 2 from Nahas, and now Chris Holcomb with back-to-back Ks to begin his outing.
First pitch misses low, ball 1, and it's hard for hitters when you get a guy like Joe Nahas, a big right-handed pitcher, running it up to the mid-90s, and then all of a sudden your next at-bat you're facing a crafty lefty who likes to go to his off-speed. 1-0 broken bat off the bat of Keenan. Mervis makes the play and throws it on over to first. So 1-2-3 inning for Chris Holcomb. He struck out 2 and got Tyler Keenan to ground out there. So the Kettleers are still chasing 1. They're looking for their first hit of the ball game. We'll go into the top of the 6th. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
into the night on a Saturday at Harwich. Harwich with the lead, 2-1 against Cotuit. Beginning of the 6th inning, Kettleers at the plate. Matt Mervis, Arajanu, and then the number 6 spot due up, it would be Adam Oviedo. 4, 5, and 6 against the lefty Will Heflin, who deals in a fastball low and away for ball 1. Hope you're doing all right. Hope your weekend's off to a good start. Sam Neidermann alongside Aram Leighton. If you're on the Cape, maybe you got to the beach today before some of the rain hit later in the afternoon. If you're elsewhere, I hope you had a nice sunny day. I know it's been raining all over the country. A lot of cleansing going on here in the United States, getting it all out of the system before summer begins. It was the first official day of summer yesterday. Kind of hard to believe. 1-1. Fouled away, left side. Mervis down the count, 1-2. Matt 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to short in the first. Walked back in the third. And his walk allowed a run to come home and score. It gave Cotuit an initial 1-0 lead right after the weather restart. But then Harwich took the lead with 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-2. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Good pitch from Heflin, who has started to lock in here. He gets a strikeout to begin the top of the 6th.
Number 30, the designated hitter from the University of Kentucky.
Heflin's 5th strikeout already. He came in right after the weather delay, walked a couple, but now he's settled in, retiring 7 of the last 8 that he's seen. 1 down, nobody aboard. 2-1 Harwich. Top of the 6th and a pinch hitter for Cotuit. Joey Loperfido gets some action. A left-handed bat. We saw him a little bit on Wednesday. Duke utility man who subs in for Arajanu, who finishes up his day 0 for 2. 1 ball and no strikes to Lope. What do you look for here, Aram?
Well, it's interesting that Coach Roberts pinch hits Loperfido to face the left-handed pitcher, because you see him use the splits in his favor on the mound, but sometimes he's not afraid to put in the lefty against the left-handed pitcher.
Line shot on the ground. It eats up Keenan. He recovers, spins, and throws. Cavadas a scoop at first, but not in time. Joey Loperfido legs out a 1-out infield hit. Might rule it an error. We'll get the official scoring in just a moment. Kettleers have a base runner with 1 out in the top of the 6th.
See if the home scorekeepers rule it a hit or an error. It short hopped the third baseman Keenan. A tough play. It was a hard hit ball off the bat. Good job by Loperfido to hustle down the line, but it looks like they'll charge it in error.
E5 on Tyler Keenan at third base. Hard hit ball indeed. He got on top of that. Took a couple of fast skips, and then Keenan knocked it down with his chest. It squirted off to his left, and he was able to recover and actually make a close throw, but not in time to get Loperfido, who had pretty good speed up the line. An error gives Cotuit a base runner in the top of the 6th. Loperfido on first, held on by Cavadas. Adam Oviedo, a pinch hitter for Cam Williams. He was a defensive sub in the last half inning, and he takes an off-speed pitch low. 1 ball and no strikes. Cam Williams wraps up the day at the plate, 0 for 2. Harwich ahead on a 2-run 4th inning. Fastball from Heflin on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two-1 to Harwich in the top of the 6th. 1 on with 1 out. 1-1. Off-speed pitch on the outside corner, called for a strike. 1-2. Oviedo thought about flipping the wrists at that one, but didn't go around. Dark sky over Whitehouse Field. Lights on, full blast. One of the old-time classic fields here in the Cape League. Harwich, a member of this league since 1930. Foul ball back from Oviedo. He stays alive with a 1-2 count. Harwich, a 4-time Cape League champion. Mariners got their first title back in 1983, won another one in 1987, and then 2 modern-day championships under their current manager and Steve Englert, coming in 2008 and 2011. 1-2. Hard fastball just off the plate, 2-2 to Oviedo. RBI single by Cavadas. And then Lansley bringing in another run on an error back at the bottom of the fourth. That's the difference, giving Harwich a 2-1 advantage in the top of the sixth. Loperfido on first, 2-2 to Oviedo. Wave and a miss, strike three. Will Heflin is really turning it up. He's now got 6 strikeouts out of the pen since the weather delay. Two outs. Loperfido still on first, and here comes Dante Williams, who's 0 for 2, grounded to third in the second inning of play, and bunted back to the pitcher in the fourth inning. Runner on first after an error. Heflin looking to get out of this inning again. He's in the stretch and back to the plate. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Two-one Harwich, visiting half of the sixth. 2 outs and a runner aboard. 1 strike pitch to Williams. Checked off foul, way into the air, just beyond the bleachers on the third base side. Thought about holding up, but instead the barrel of the bat made contact. Activity in the Harwich pen down the left field line. This is Heflin's 3rd full inning of work. He got the final out in the top of the 3rd. Right-hander getting loose. 0-2, swing and a miss by Williams. He strikes out, and it is now 8 strikeouts for Will Heflin out of the pen. The lefty gets the job done here in the 6th and preserves the Harwich lead. Harwich 2 and the Kettleers 1. On to the bottom of the 6th when we return here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Aram Leighton. Chris Holcomb back on the mound. Cape Cod Healthcare is the leading provider of healthcare services for residents and visitors of Cape Cod, with 2 acute care hospitals and more than 400 physicians. For more information, please visit capecodhealthcare.org. Cape Cod Healthcare, expert physicians, quality hospitals, superior care. Harwich back at the plate. Begins with their All-American Bobby Seymour, then Daniel Cabrera and Nico Cavadas. A lot of power there. 4, 5, and 6 due up against the lefty and Chris Holcomb. And Aram, what did you like about Holcomb? What does he need to keep doing to have success on the mound?
He's a guy that's not going to blow it by you, so the mix, the 3-pitch mix is really big. He's got to locate that off speed. He's done a good job of it so far, especially to these big left-handed hitters in the Harwich lineup. It's all about mixing it up and changing speeds, make that high 80s fastball look even harder.
Seymour from the left side, 1 for 2 today with a single his last time up. Pulled it to the right. 0-1 breaking ball, swing and a miss. Fooled him nicely and right on cue. Started with a fastball and then went to the junk.
That's what you got to do when you're not a high-velocity guy, changing speeds well. We see some of the best pitchers in baseball that ever did it. There were some guys that weren't high-velocity guys, and it's just all about changing perception and changing velocity. And Holcomb's got that slow-bending curveball, but it has so much bite to it.
Ground ball right side, funneled in by Dodd at first base. He takes it to the bag himself, 1 away. 3 pitches and the leadoff man retired in Seymour. 3 unassisted. That brings around Daniel Cabrera. 0 for 2, reaching on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning, and he scored the go-ahead run in that inning. 2-1 Harwich, bottom of the 6th, bases empty. And 1 out. Kettleers shift the infield a little bit. Mervis plays a little in on the grass at 3rd and shifted over toward his left. Wind up from Holcomb. Fastball, hard on the outside corner, strike 1. Cabrera, the LSU infielder. Another left-handed bat against the southpaw in Holcomb. 0-1. Fastball, great spot again at the knees. Called for a strike, nothing in 2. Nick Stewart getting loose in the Harwich pen down the left field line, a right-hander. Holcomb overhead delivery, 0-2. Chopper, Gonzalez at 2nd. Good throw, 2 away.
So far this season, it seemed like lefties have really struggled against Holcomb. Of course, lefties in general struggle against opposing pitchers who are left-handed, but he seemed to have even more success, above the mean, against left-handed hitters, and I think a lot of that has to do with his slow bending curveball that has so much bite to it and his ability to just locate that fastball wherever he wants.
He's up against another left-handed bat, Nico Cavadas. Time called behind home plate. Cody Pasek gets up from his crouch and resets. 2 outs with nobody aboard. 2-1 Harwich in the bottom of the 6th. There's that curveball. This time it slings outside. 1 ball and no strikes to Cavadas. 2 for 2 with an RBI single back in the bottom of the 4th. One-0. Swing and a miss. Got him with a low fastball, 1-1. Holcomb from Marston's Mills on the mound. Cody Pasek from the Cape Israel, right behind home plate. A couple of Cape Cod natives working together for their hometown team. Low fastball at the ankles, 2-1.
Another thing that I think makes Holcomb so deceptive is he closes his body off, hides his arm really well, and then it slings around at the last second. He kind of throws across his body.
2-1 breaking ball, just a little up and in. 3-1 on Cavadas. Harwich ahead 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Base is empty with 2 outs. 3-1 from Holcomb. Swing and a miss. Got him on a low diving fastball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Big pitch coming up right here. Kettleers down by 1. 3-2. Hard fastball low and away, and Cavadas works a walk. He has now reached in all 3 plate appearances. That keeps the inning alive for Harwich. A 2-out walk to bring around Chris Lansley. Lansley 0 for 2, grounded into a double play, and then hit a ball in play to short, which was ruled as an error. That brought ahead the go-ahead run. And that run still stands. It's a 2-1 ball game, 2 Harwich in the bottom of the 6th. Cavadas on first. Holcomb out of the stretch. Lansley, the right-handed bat, at the plate. Pitch number 1. Fastball low, 1 ball, no strikes. Not too many people left at Whitehouse Field. A couple of Kettleers fans on the first base side. Some scouts as well, right behind home plate. Holcomb's 1-0. High and away fastball, 2-0. Second meeting of the season between these two clubs. Kettleers took the first 7-5 at Lowell Park. Fastball lifted in the air to left. Ellis converging in the gap along with Williams, and it's Ellis who makes the play for out number 3. Chris Holcomb, another good inning out of the pen. He works around a 2-out walk, and no runs come home for Harwich. We're on to the 7th. Kettleers down 2-1. We'll be right back in just a moment. This is Cotuit Kettleers baseball. Six 5, 220 pounds, a junior from Ashburn, Virginia. Kettleers send up a new batter to the plate as well, a pinch hitter. Cam Hill comes into the number 8 spot in the Kettleer lineup in place of Duke Ellis. Ellis went 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Hill gets back into the lineup. He did not get the start today. Second time that he has not started all season. 7 starts in the 9 games played so far. He bats from the left side against the big right-hander in Stewart. Kettleers need some runs, down by 1, and they still haven't gotten a hit in this game.
We've seen Coach Roberts the last couple games shuffle the lineup around, bring in a lot of pinch hitters and substitutions, just trying to find someone that can light a spark for this team. Hopefully Cam Hill can be the guy that gets it going here, as they're still scraping for their first hit, like you said.
2-run fourth, the difference for Harwich so far. Top of the 7th, 2-1. First pitch to Hill, off speed in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Another pinch hitter due up in the on-deck circle. Cody Pasek started in the 9 spot behind home plate, but Colton Kessler, Kettleers' regular starting catcher to this point, is on deck. Hill takes a strike. Good fastball from Stewart. 1 ball and 1 strike. So it looks like back-to-back Kentucky Wildcats to try and spark something for the Kettleers in the top of the 7th inning. Hill, a tall, imposing righty on the mound. And he gets ahead in the count off a foul ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stewart, rather, on the mound. A starter at James Madison this past spring. Made 15 starts, went 4-5 with a 2.74 earned run average. Fastball popped into the air, down the left field line and into the bullpen, foul. Hill stays alive with a 1-2 count. Stewart with 1 appearance on the Cape so far, a start. He went 3 2/3, allowed 5 runs on 7 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 5 against Cotuit in the first meeting. 2-2 against Hill. Normal depth for the Harwich defense. 2-2 to Hill. Ground ball up the middle. Taken at short. Hughes, a good play over to first. 1 away. Hill goes down 6-3 as a pinch hitter to start things off. One out in the top of the 7th. Nobody aboard for Colton Kessler, another pinch hitter, another Kentucky player. Cody Pasek wraps up his day at the plate 0 for 2. Kessler climbs in from the left side. He's got an opportunity against Stewart to at least get the tying run on base for the Kettleers. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike one.
And you see why Hal Hughes starts so many games for LSU. Obviously struggled at the plate, hit 174 this past spring, but he is so smooth out there at shortstop, a premium defensive position. It's safe to say his glove really carries him. He's made a few really nice plays tonight.
0-1. Swing and a miss on a fastball. 0-2. Cotuit's down 2-1 in the top of the 7th. One down, nobody aboard. Kessler trying to fight off an 0-2 count. Fastball, Stewart, that's right down the pipe, called strike 3. Kessler goes down on 3 pitches, a strikeout looking. 2 outs, back to the top of the Kettleer lineup. Nick Gonzalez, the leadoff man. 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. A hit batsman scored the only run of the day for Cotuit and also walked his last time up in the 5th. Harwich in the driver's seat, up 2-1. First pitch to Gonzalez. Way high fastball to the backstop, 1-0. This game, pretty crazy, pretty wacky at Whitehouse Field. 1 hour weather delay before. We got to the top of the 3rd with 2 on and 2 out for the Kettleers at the plate. Then a lightning delay of 45 minutes. Mason Dodd resumed his at-bat with an 0-2 count. Worked a walk to load the bases. Matt Mervis walked to give the Kettleers a 1-0 lead. Then Harwich got it back in the 4th. RBI single from Nico Cavadas. Chris Lansley bounced one to short. Turned out to be an error. That scored the go-ahead run. Here we are in the top of the 7th. After all this rain on Cape Cod, we've got 1 Cape League game still chugging. 2 outs, bases empty. Kettleers down 2-1. Nick Gonzalez at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Stewart, a wind-up and a swing and a miss. Good pitch on the outside corner, 1-2. 1 run on no hits for Cotuit with 1 error. 2 runs on 4 hits and 1 error for Harwich. Mike Roberts with 1 arm folded across his chest in the third base's coaching box. 1-2. Swing and a miss on a hard fastball. Nick Stewart comes out of the pen and works a 1-2-3 inning for Harwich. He strikes out 2, and Cotuit goes down in order. We'll be right back in just a moment. Harwich 2, Cotuit 1 on the Cape Cod Baseball. Development online at curry.edu. Curry College, that's curry.edu. Sam Neidermann, Aram Leighton, bottom of the 7th inning. Matty Ice riding in the sidecar tonight here at Whitehouse Field. Hope you're having a great time. Great little weather delay action. Kettleers on the short end of this 2-1 game. Aram, what does Chris Holcomb got to do? He's in his 3rd inning of work. He's looked pretty good. Got to find a way to keep this thing at a 1-run contest. Breaking pitch low, 1 ball and no strikes to the batter. And Patrick Winkle.
Harwich is very left-handed heavy, like we were talking about, and he's been taking advantage of those lefty-lefty matchups, continuing to locate that curveball and throwing it in hitters' counts and throwing it kind of backwards, pitching backwards to some of these notable hitters in the lineup. He should continue to have success.
1 ball and 1 strike on Winkle, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. 1-1 fouled away on the left side. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lights on, full blast. The Kettleers took the lead after the 2nd weather delay, a lightning delay in the top of the 3rd inning. Matt Mervis worked a walk to score a run with the bases loaded. Harwich got the lead and 2 back in the 4th. 1-2 fastball. Ooh, good spot on the inside corner, but did not get the call. 2-2. Colton Kessler is the catcher behind home plate. Cody Pasek wraps up another hard day's work. Late sub by Mike Roberts. Adam Oviedo still plays at shortstop. Cam Hill, the new left fielder for Duke Ellis. Holcomb, a slow windup. 2-2. Weak swing that just got a piece on the inner half of the bat. Foul ball. Winkle stays alive. Silent night in Harwich. Dark night after a lot of storms, some hail. Somehow we are still playing this game. 2-2. Fastball zipped to short. Backhanded dive by Oviedo. He's only able to knock it down. And Harwich has another base runner. Winkle reaches on a hard infield single.
Number 19, the shortstop from LSU.
Not much that Ovi could do about that one. It was deep in the hole. Good slide to at least knock it down. No official scoring yet.
Base hit for sure on that one.
It's got to be, yeah.
Tough play for Ovi. Had to dive and back in. Great job to even keep it in the infield. A 1-hopper. It was roped off the bat of Winkle.
Here's Hal Hughes. Shortstop out of LSU. That made a nice play in the field in the last half inning. 1 on with nobody out. Holcomb from the stretch. Fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Harwich in the home cream uniforms. Blue numbers trimmed in red with a red stirrups. A very throwback patriotic look. Kettleers in their typical road maroon tops on the white pinstripes. 1-0. Chopper, left side. Oviedo rounds. It kind of died in the dirt, but he's still able to sling it to Gonzalez at second to get the lead runner. That's all, though. 1 down, and the trailer and Hughes safe at first. 6-4 on a fielder's choice. That was kind of weird. That ball just sort of died right at the second that it got through the grass and into the dirt. Mervis actually had kind of a look at it playing in at third, but instead Oviedo made the play. 1 out, a runner on first and Hughes. Cam Thompson, the number 1 batter in the Harwich order, back at the plate. 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a walk. 2-1 Harwich, bottom 7. Holcomb in his 3rd inning out of the bullpen. Fastball up, 1 ball and no strikes. Pitch black here at Whitehouse Field. But the stadium lights are on to keep us going into the night. Holcomb at the belt, looks over to first, turns over to first, and whips one a little past Dodd, who's able to catch it out of the air. Nothing doing with Hughes. Mervis still plays in by a step at third base. Oviedo shaded more towards the middle at short. Outfield at normal depth and alignment. Holcomb misses up and away with a fastball that evens the count. 1-1 on Thompson. Two balls and no strikes, beg your pardon. Make it 3-0. Holcomb misses Harden in with a fastball. Thompson's really in the driver's seat. He can put the pressure on. Harwich looking to add some insurance here in the 7th. Kettleers, who do not have a hit so far tonight, trying to at least stay in it, only down 2-1. Holcomb leans in, now comes set. Runner on first with 1 out. The 3-0. Fastball called for a strike, top part of the zone. Thompson backed away, but then comes back into the batter's box. He's set for a 3-1 pitch. Two to 1 Harwich, bottom of the 7th. Hughes on first with 1 out. Holcomb the 3-1. Turned away, foul. Thompson with no choice but to swing. Now it's a full count.
Big out here for Holcomb. Of course, on deck is the 2-hitter Fedko, who struggled today, but then you have the 3-4 punch of Tyler Keenan and Bobby Seymour. You'd like to face them with nobody on base.
1 on base here with 1 out. 2-1 Harwich. Holcomb another throw over to first to check on the runner. Cam Thompson at the plate. Did strike out against Holcomb in the 5th. Maybe there's another one in the lefty's back pocket. His 3-2. Up and in with a fastball. That's ball 4. Thompson walks for the 2nd time today. He's on board for the 3rd time in 4 plate appearances. And Harwich has first and second with only 1 out. And the number 2 batter, Christian Fedko, back up.
The second baseman, number 21, from Yukon, Christian Fedko.
Fedko has struggled, as Aram told you. He's 0 for 3 with a hat trick of strikeouts. 1 looking in the 1st and 2 swinging in the 3rd and the 5th. The last one came against Holcomb. He's got a chance to make up for it and extend his team's 2-1 lead. 1 out and 2 on. Time called on the diamond. Fedko, a right-handed bat against a left-handed pitcher in Holcomb. First pitch smacked in the air to center. Coming in, Williams not able to get there though. It just sort of blooped down. And Fedko's got a base hit that loads the bases. Everybody stayed put, nobody came home. First, second, and third, only 1 out still here in the bottom of the 7th, and the heart of Harwich's order has a great crack to break into this lead even more.
Exactly what I was saying. Holcomb needed to try to avoid. Also, an interesting play out there in center. It looked like Dante Williams didn't have a good angle at it. Maybe didn't read it well off the bat. Fooled him. He thought it was maybe hit a little harder. Took a little bit of a banana route to it, and it was able to fall in front of him.
Kettleers bring the infield in. Bases loaded with 1 out. Tyler Keenan back at the plate, and he takes a strike. Keenan 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored back in the 4th. He started off that 2-run 4th for Harwich. Maybe he can cap this thing off with a hit to extend a 2-1 advantage. Holcomb's 0-1. Fastball low. Good trap by Kessler behind home plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fedko the runner at first. Thompson on second. Hughes the man on third. Kettleers have the infield playing in. 2-1 Harwich in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out. 1-1. Breaking ball, diving stop by Kessler in the other batter's box. 2-1. Kessler resets. Holcomb gets back onto the rubber. Lanky at 6'3" with long locks of hair out of his maroon cap. One glance over to Hughes at third. Now he comes set. Bases loaded with 1 out. 2-1. Fastball brushes him back. 3-1. Cotuit's been in a high-pressure situation like this at Whitehouse Field before. It came last summer in a 12-inning game that ended in a 3-3 tie. Kettleers actually got a double play, 5-2-3, with the bases loaded in the infield playing in. 3-1. Ground ball to short. Oviedo looks home. Kessler's got it for the force. Turn it on to first. Got it to Dodd for another double play. 6-2-3. And the Kettleers get out of the inning. Chris Holcomb, what a job out of the pen. 3 scoreless for the lefty. And the Kettleers have it back within a 1-run game. 2-1. We go on to the top of the 8th inning. Cotuit back at the plate when we come back. This is Cotuit Kettleers baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Late night with the Kettleers. It's 9:39 and it's the top of the 8th inning. The Kettleers are still looking for their first hit of the ball game. Parker Shavers, one of the lone bright spots for this Kettleers lineup. He's reached base twice today with a pair of walks. He'll face Nick Stewart in his second inning of work. The first pitch from Stewart, fastball that splits the plate, strike 1.
Kettleers have got to find a way to take the momentum that they got in the field in the last half inning, Aram, and just channel it here at the plate. No better person, though, than Shavers. He's come up with a clutch hit already this season.
Curveball misses up, 1-1. Shavers from Coastal Carolina. The most decorated freshman in school history. As he fouls one straight back, he's behind 1-2. Shavers behind 1-2 to the pitcher Stewart. In his second inning of work, also started the ball game against Cotuit in their first matchup. 1-2 misses up, 2-2. Shavers in that freshman season hit .323, 7 home runs, 42 RBIs, was tabbed an All-American from just about every single publication. The 2-2. Curveball froze him. Strike 3 looking. So Shavers goes down. And that brings up Mason Dodd, who's 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Matt Mervis waits on deck, the cleanup hitter, then the pinch hitter, Joey Loperfido. Dodd from the left side awaits the first pitch, swings through a fastball, a big hack. Not able to catch up to it. Dodd, one of the more consistent hitters on this Kettleer team so far this season, as he swings through another fastball. Dodd started the season on a 5-game hitting streak, hasn't been able to scratch for a hit the last couple ball games. He tries to stay alive 0-2 as he takes a fastball up at the eyes, 1-2. Dodd from the Division II Belmont Abbey. One of two Belmont Abbey players on this team. Beck Way out of the bullpen. Swing and a miss on another curveball. And Dodd goes down swinging. He swung through 3 pitches there. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nick Stewart in the 8th inning. And Matt Mervis will try to extend this inning. Mervis 0 for 2. He reached on a walk. Mervis got the RBI on those 4 consecutive walks. So he takes a first pitch fastball for a ball. Those walks sandwiched a 45-minute delay. But Gonzalez was hit by a pitch to start the 3rd inning. Shavers walked, Dodd walked, then Mervis walked to score their only run of the ball game. It's a backdoor curveball, nips the outside corner. It's 1-1. And that's how you score a run while being no hit.
At the same time, though, got to be a little more urgency from the Kettleers at the plate.
1-1 misses inside. Mervis turns in and takes it for a ball. 2-1. The cleanup hitter's ahead.
Just don't have quite the stroke today that we saw with that top-tier offense in the league on opening week. No hits and a lot of strikeouts.
Misses down again. 3-1. Mervis way ahead. Good spot for Mervis here, the cleanup hitter. Had 7 home runs this past season at Duke. 3-1 count. The Kettleers still only trailing by 1. 2-1 here with 2 away in the 8th inning. He takes a ball outside for ball 4. So Mervis will reach base for the 2nd time this ball game. And that'll bring up his Blue Devil teammate, Joey Loperfido. He reached on an error to 3rd. A hard hit ball that short hopped the 3rd baseman, Keenan. He was able to beat it out at first base.
Great opportunity for Loperfido to make his first dent as a Cotuit Kettleer. Got the tying run on first base thanks to a walk. Why not make him pay for it?
Stewart out of the stretch. Checks on Mervis, kicks and deals a first pitch fastball right down Broadway for strike 1. Loperfido missed a good chunk of his sophomore season this past spring with a hairline fracture in his left hand. He broke it diving into second base head first. Came back to the Blue Devil team right around ACC play. He awaits the 0-1, a curveball that's up, but it gets the top of the strike zone. So it's 0-2. Duke, once again, the Blue Devils just 1 game from the College World Series back-to-back years. They were no hit by Kumar Rocker in a 19 strikeout performance. The 0-2. He lays off that one in the dirt. 1-2. Loperfido from the left side, tall, lanky player. Plays all over the field. As a freshman, played first base. Played second base this past season for Duke. Plays a little bit of outfield. He can do it all. He awaits the 1-2. Fastball at the knees, just misses low. Stewart, the pitcher, wanted it. It's 2-2. Mervis, the runner on second, 2 outs here. 2-2 to Joey Loperfido. Adam Oviedo waits on deck. Should Loperfido be able to reach? The 2-2 to Loperfido. Fouled off away, and we'll do a 2-2 again. Loperfido, 6'4", 200 pounds. And a tall stance from the left side of the box. Mervis, a very modest lead at first base, not much of a threat to run. The 2-2. Swings through it and misses. Stewart was able to blow it by him, so strike 3 there for the 3rd out of the inning. So Stewart sets down the side, only walked the one-hitter Mervis, struck out Shavers, Dodd, and Loperfido. So Cotuit's still hitless through 8. We'll go into the bottom of the 8th. The Kettleers are still chasing 1 run. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Field. Matt Moore, the new pitcher, the southpaw for the Kettleers, making his 3rd appearance of the season. He's pitched 3 scoreless so far this year. The left-hander out of Avon, Indiana, pitches at Purdue. We'll get the left-handed hitting Bobby Seymour, then the lefty Daniel Cabrera, and then another lefty, Nico Cavadas. So 3 straight lefties for the southpaw Matt Moore, who bounces his first pitch for a ball. Cotuit able to limit Bobby Seymour for the most part this day. Just 1 hit, a single, and a pair of groundouts. Seymour, the All-American, had a phenomenal year at Wake Forest as Moore bounces another one behind 2-0. Seymour way ahead 2-0 against the lefty Matt Moore, who tries to pump the first strike of the inning. He does. He grounds one out to Adam Oviedo, who fields it, throws it on over to Dodd to get Bobby Seymour for the first out of the inning. So good job by Matt Moore to come back after spiking the first 2 balls to Bobby Seymour. Got him to ground out to the shortstop Adam Oviedo. So that brings up Daniel Cabrera, left-handed hitter out of LSU. One of the new reinforcements for this Harwich team. Looking to give them a little bit of an offensive jolt. They've been among the basement of the Cape Cod League in terms of offense. They didn't need many runs today as the Kettleers just have 1 run on no hits. As Moore misses outside with a curveball. So far, 2 runs have been enough for Harwich tonight. The 1-0. Fastball gets the inside corner, 1-1. Cabrera will be a junior at LSU. Hit 284, 12 home runs this past spring. Even better as a freshman. In 58 games, he hit 315. Was an All-American by just about every publication. So curveball misses up and in. Perfect game, D1 baseball, Baseball America, NCBWA. All tabbed him a freshman All-American. So he's ahead 2-1 against the tall lefty Matt Moore. He kicks and deals, and he lines one just foul towards the bullpen. The Kettleers relievers were able to dance out of the way.
I think that's Kyle Nicholas who's getting loose. Thank God there's a protector down there. I believe it's Beck Way who's doing the spotting for Nicholas.
You always have a spotter down there. As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we have the old-style bullpens. So they're right in the field of play, just in foul territory, as Moore misses away to make it full to Cabrera. The bullpens are just foul on both lines. We've seen players a couple times today run into the bullpen area to make some grabs, chasing down some balls. It makes things kind of difficult over there. The payoff pitch got him on a curveball, swung right through it, a half-hearted swing, and a nice 3-2 pitch from Moore. So quickly 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. And that brings up Nico Cavadas, who has 2 base hits on the ball game and a walk.
The Kettleer bullpen has been really effective tonight. Jonah Haas went 2 innings, struck out 4. He did give up the only 2 runs of this game that the Kettleers have allowed, but you know, it was a kind of a shaky inning, but overall flashed really good potential and good stuff again. And then Chris Holcomb, 3 scoreless innings.
Ground ball over to the first baseman Dodd, but it just spins foul. And only one of those runs was earned to Nahas. And the one that was unearned was on the error to shortstop, but even the earned run came right after a drop ball in foul territory. So you can't help but think if Nahas might have been able to get that grab from Mervis if he would have got out scoreless. So it's 0-1. Curveball on the inside corner, strike 2. Moore way ahead of Cavadas.
Matt Moore is throwing strikes here too. He's got 2 up and 2 down. 1 strike away from retiring the toughest guy to get out in the Harwich order today in Cavadas.
And nobody's gotten him out so far. Moore ahead 0-2. Misses down and away 1-2.
Kettleers, first and foremost, don't want to get no hit. The Harwich in position to throw a team no-hitter with a 45-minute lightning delay sandwiched in between. That'd be pretty crazy. But second of all, you don't want to waste away the good pitching that you've gotten yourself. The Kettleers still very much in this ball game, only down 2-1.
The 1-2. Lined out into right field. It'll fall in front of Shavers. So that'll bring up Chris Lansley after a single off the bat of Cavadas, who's 3 for 3 on the ball game, reached base all 4 times.
Dude's been hard to get out today, that's for sure.
Lansley 0 for 3 on the ball game, the right-handed hitter. Had a phenomenal year at Wake Forest as well with his partner, Bobby Seymour. They both did a lot of damage to the ACC. You get the feeling that Lansley might be due. Takes a big hack at the first pitch and fouls it straight back. As a Cotuit bat boy outruns the Harwich bat boy and even lays out to get the ball. It seems like a little friendly competition we have between the two bat boys. Lansley hit .347 this past spring, 16 home runs, 67 RBIs. Maybe a little overshadowed by Bobby Seymour, but a great year as he breaks his bat on a ball in the fist, but it's going to be caught by the left fielder, Cam Hill. Looked like it might fall for a second there. Oviedo looked like he wasn't going to get there in time. The speedy Cam Hill was able to sprint in and make the grab. So last chance for the Kettleers will go into the top of the 9th. They're trailing 2-1. You're listening to Cotuit Kettleers Baseball on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Dante Williams and Cam Hill. Nick Stewart back out there for his 3rd inning of work. The first pitch to Oviedo misses down, ball 1.
Well, Aram, you're down to your final 3 outs. You haven't gotten a hit yet in this ball game, but you're still only down by 1 run, and 1 swing might do the trick. So that's the beauty of baseball. Let's see if the Kettleers can put it into practice.
1-0 fastball, strike 1. That's the amazing thing is the Kettleers have done just about everything wrong, struggled defensively, are getting no hit through 8, and they still have a chance to win this ball game in the top of the 9th, only chasing 1 run. 1-1, he swings through a fastball at his eyes, 1-2. 13 strikeouts on the ball game for the Kettleers. They make that 20 in their last 2 ball games.
And no runs for Cotuit in the last 17 innings. Gotta find a way.
So Oviedo tries to battle back, down 1-2 to Nick Stewart. Out of the windup, he kicks and deals. Puts a fastball in the same spot. Oviedo's able to lay off at this time.
And on the converse of this, how amazing would it be for the Harwich Mariners to achieve a team no-hitter with everything that's been thrown at them in terms of the weather this afternoon.
2-2. Line out into second base, over his head for a base hit. The Kettleers finally get on the board. The hit column, that is. And they got their first hit of the ball game off the bat of Adam Oviedo over the second baseman, Fedko's head.
Isn't that the beauty of this game? It's still a ball game. The no-hitter really is second to the scoreboard. The Kettleers have a tying run at the plate. Glad I could give him the kiss of death there. Oviedo comes up with a nice poke in the right.
So forget the no-hitter. The Kettleers have a chance to tie this ball game up. Adam Oviedo on first, Dante Williams at the plate. We'll see if Coach Roberts has his left-handed hitting center fielder bunt over Oviedo. He squares, pulls it back, misses for ball one. Third baseman Keenan in about 2 steps inside the grass playing the bunt from Dante Williams. First baseman Cavadas holds Oviedo on at first. The middle infielders play straight up. Out of the stretch, Stewart kicks and kneels. A bunt on the ground down the first base line. Stewart picks it up, throws it over to first, and just able to snag it is Cavadas. Almost overthrew it, did Nick Stewart. But he just got the out in time to beat the hustling Dante Williams. But he does his job, gets Oviedo over to second base, and that brings up Cam Hill for his second at-bat of the ball game, the substitution.
Wow, Kettleers really would have had the pressure on if it wasn't for Cavadas making one heck of a snag at first. He used every inch of his mitt to reach up to catch it. Saved 90 feet from Oviedo, who goes into scoring position on a good sacrifice from Williams.
Cam Hill at the plate, the left-handed hitter, a threat to bunt for a hit. We've seen him square plenty of times this year. He takes a fastball inside for a strike. Colton Kessler waits on deck. He hit for Cody Pasek 2 innings ago, struck out in his first at-bat. Cam Hill grounded out to shortstop in his first pinch hit appearance. One of the more hard-hit balls of this ball game, though. Stewart comes set at the chest, looks over at second, kicks and deals a curveball. It's popped up down the third base line. Keenan gives chase, slides over, and bounces off his glove. It looked like Keenan slid a little early there, was waiting for it on the ground, and was not able to glove it. Bounced right out of his glove.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he had the premature slide on that one. He came in there like a banshee and then was on the ground and wasn't able to make the play. A good effort, nonetheless. Good hustle. That's hard in the night sky. It's coming down. You're already on the ground to make that catch, and he nearly did. Felt like he had more time to have control to make that play, though.
We saw Harwich take advantage of a couple dropped foul balls. We'll see if the Kettleers can return the favor. Cam Hill behind 0-2. Oviedo on second base. Stewart comes set, ready to deal the 0-2 pitch. Grounded out to second base. Fedko fields it on a hop, throws it over to third for the second out of the inning, but that gets Adam Oviedo over to third base. So the tying run stands on third. Colton Kessler will stride to the plate, and there's 2 away. And what a spot for Kessler, who struggled so far this season, hitting just 150 through his first 20 at-bats, struck out in his first pinch hit appearance. Come up big here for his team would be unbelievable. He swings through a curveball up at the shoulders for strike one.
Only takes one.
Strikeouts have been the issue for Kessler so far. He struck out 11 times in his first 21 at-bats. But none of that will matter if he can come through here and tie this ball game up. The 0-1 takes this one for a ball at the letters. 1-1, 2 outs here. Cotuit grasping for air. hoping to tie this ball game up with Oviedo at third. The 1-1 swings through a curveball. 1-2. The Kettleers are down to their last strike. Nick Gonzalez waits on deck.
Let's go, Cash.
Kessler chokes up on the bat a little bit. Tries to battle here down 1-2. Nick Stewart looks to pick up the save. Out of the windup, he kicks and deals a 1-2. Kessler spoils it, able to stay alive here. A safety swing from Kessler on a backdoor curveball, able to just get a piece of it. And we'll do 1-2 again.
Got to watch for the fastball up right here. Got to stay disciplined on that pitch if it's not in the zone.
We've seen it blow the fastball by Kessler a couple times today. Out of the windup, he blows the fastball by him, and that's the ball game. The Kettleers strand the tying run on third base. Colton Kessler swings through a fastball. They're able to pick up their only hit of the ball game in the 9th inning. Just one hit, 1 run, and 1 error. The Kettleers fall to Harwich 2-1 on a long ball game, split up by a couple delays, a late start, but we're able to get this one in. The only game tonight on the Cape Cod League that was able to go the full 9, and one of 2 games that were even able to be played enough to call it final. So we are final here. It's 2-1, the final score in favor of Harwich at Whitehouse Field. Sam, obviously 14 strikeouts. It's hard to win a ball game like that. What else stood out to you for the Kettleers?
Well, on the positive side, I thought on the mound the Kettleers were pretty solid. Sean Sullivan, a little shaky to start, 2 innings, but he didn't allow a run. Walked 1, got 1 hit, and then struck out 1. But Joe Nahas, 2 innings out of the pen, gave up the 2 runs. 1 of them was earned. Chris Holcomb, again, really nice. He's a good piece for the Kettleers out of the back end of the bullpen, especially as a matchup lefty. I expect him to come into more big spots as we go. 3 scoreless innings, allowed 2 hits, walked 2, and struck out 2. And then even Matt Moore was hitting his spots when he came on in the bottom of the 8th. The pitching was relatively solid for Cotuit. The bats just weren't there to back it up. You mentioned the 14 strikeouts. You're not going to win too many ball games when you strike out that much. That's something for Mike Roberts to really work on with this team. Now only scoring 1 run across their last 18 innings of play and only the 1 hit tonight. You credit the Kettleers for at least positioning the tying run at third base, but nobody in the bottom of the order was able to come up with that clutch hit when Cotuit needed it. So you hope you can get this one out of your system. It's kind of weird, given all the weather delays that we had today, given the fact that this is only the 2nd complete game we've gotten in this week. Hopefully the Kettleers can nestle into the friendly confines of Lowell Park tomorrow with the doubleheader against Brewster and just take care of business then. Brewster's a first-place team. They've won 6 games in a row since we last saw them at Stony Brook. They've got new life. They've got new energy. They're probably feeling pretty good about themselves coming in on the road, and they're itching to play as well. But the Kettleers are going to lock down on home turf tomorrow and just make it happen against a team that I believe on paper they're much better than.
With today's result, the Kettleers will fall to 4-4 on the season. Fortunately, they had such a hot start. They're only 500 after this scuffle. Harwich will now be 500 as well after their slow start. They've gotten hot. Kind of a reverse of roles here so far for the 2 teams. 5-5 is Harwich. So as you mentioned, we'll have that doubleheader at home at Lowell Park against Brewster. A great opportunity for the Kettleers to turn things around. Of course, it'll be 2 7-inning games. It'll be fun. We got a cornhole matchup in between that I've heard you're emceeing.
Yeah,
so you got to get
cornhole tournament.
So don't miss that. It'll be 8 players paired up with 8 fans, lucky fans that are selected. So it'll be a fun doubleheader tomorrow. The Kettleers hopefully will scratch for some more offense. And there's no rain in the forecast.
Yeah,
so let's play 2.
It's going to be a fun day. Make sure you come out to Lowell Park. First ever Cotuit Kettleers cornhole tournament in between ball games. First game starts at 2 p.m. 8 teams in the cornhole tournament. Like Aram just told you, you'll be matched up with a player. You actually have to enter a drawing to get into the bracket. So you put your name in a hat when you arrive at the ballpark. They'll announce who's been drawn. You come in after the first game. You play the games. 3 rounds. You got to win 3 games. You want to take the grand prize, which is your own brand new custom-made cornhole set. So you get the 2 boards. You get the 2 sets of bags. And you get to play some cornhole all summer long. That's going to be fun. Can't wait for that tomorrow at the ballpark, and 2 really fun games against the Brewster Whitecaps, who don't come to Lowell Park that often, so it should be a good interdivisional matchup.
Lowell Park could be the best medicine for this struggling Kettleers team. After that doubleheader against Brewster, we'll have the makeup game against Chatham. That'll be made up at Chatham on Tuesday, or Monday rather, at 7 o'clock. So you'll have us on, hopefully we'll figure it out. Whether it's Mixlr or YouTube, we will keep you posted via Twitter. Mixlr is currently down for all parties, not just us. So we will see if we can have that. We will have it live somewhere from Chatham at 7 o'clock on Monday. And, of course, we will have the doubleheader live on YouTube at 1:45 for the pregame show, starting at 2, first pitch of the first game. And scheduled first pitch for the second game is 5 o'clock. Hopefully the game doesn't run much longer than that, the first ball game. So any final thoughts here, Sam? The Kettleers are able to avoid the no-hitter, if that's the silver lining. But another loss, another tough ball game, and 21 strikeouts over the last 2 games.
You hate it. You really hate to see it. The Kettleers struggling at the plate. Let's hope they get rid of this bug heading into tomorrow. Should be a beautiful day at Lowell Park. Let's hope for a Cape Cod summer the rest of this summer. No more rain, and get back into the win column. That's what the doctor ordered for the Kettleers.
Well, hopefully we've got all the rain out of the Cape Cod system. Obviously, we were able to get this one in, fortunately, despite a couple delays. And tomorrow shows some sun, so let's get the season underway again, finally, and play some baseball. We'll have a lot of games in not that many days, but we're excited, and hopefully you'll join us on this gauntlet season, like you like to call it, Sam, where we got a bunch of games and barely as many games to play them. So Aram Leighton and my partner signing off from my partner Sam Neidermann here at Whitehouse Field. The Kettleers fall 2-1 to Harwich. We will see you tomorrow, all day tomorrow, hopefully. Please join us for the doubleheader at Lowell Park against Brewster. Thank you for listening tonight. Have a great evening and enjoy the warm sun tomorrow.